Let's now go to our guest today. Mr. Stanley Zur has dedicated his life's work to combat the forces that undermine the unique freedoms held by American citizens. He's unafraid to spotlight incongruity, the illegalities, and treason in government and the power plays of government. Since 2001, he has been a regular online op-ed editor to Israel National News, Renew America, Dr. Rich Swire, and OFFE. He's also the founder of the VictoriousAmerica.com and the Victorious America Freedom Coalition, which highlights government policies that run counter to the Constitution's rule of law and its firm stance against absolute power. Victorious America focuses on the detrimental effects that religious and secular political ideologies have on America's mission in the world, and was the first site to underscore Islamic tyranny as the direct cause of the 9/11 attacks. Mr. Zur has founded the Never Again Is Now movement as well to eradicate anti-Semitism from the face of the earth, and supports President Trump's proclamation that the scourge of anti-Semitism cannot be ignored, cannot be tolerated, and cannot be allowed to continue. He received the highest award of valor by the SGI New York Community Center for protecting its membership from an armed assailant, sustaining a life-changing stab wound to his lungs, etc. He has been involved in many different types of organizations and, of course, political activism. And, of course, we are so thankful to have Mr. Zur joining us this morning. Thank you, Stanley, for joining us this morning. Why is it the Constitution's rule of law, its stance against tyranny, can only provide us a clear picture of who the real enemy is that is now attacking our Constitution?
Now, before I answer, I just want to just mention something what you said. What's going on in Congress is they're just trying to do that to win the election, obviously, to declare when the election is over, oh, well, we violated the rule of law. There was interference. They're never going to recognize our results. As far as I'm concerned, that's the insurgency. So that's why I'm preparing. I'm saying, prepare yourself, that we have a real battle on our hand, but we will win according to Providence's design and God's help. I'm not worried about it. We're going to defeat them solidly because that's God's plan is to make an exodus from tyranny in the world. So we're on the battlefield with him. So I'm not, I know it seems bleak, but if we wage this battle, I'm sure we'll win. In any case, let me answer this question. Why is it that only the Constitution's rule of law, its stance against tyranny, can provide us a clear picture of the real enemy who is now attacking the Constitution? I wrote this because they keep mentioning the rule of law, each side. But people don't even know what the rule of law is generally, except, we're all equal under the rule of law. But actually the rule of law is much deeper than that understanding, because it embraces that proposition too. So I wrote, once we understand that the origins of our Constitution, its stance against tyranny, has its roots in a biblical point of departure, the question it becomes, where does tyranny arise from? What is the seed that provides its root, the source of its nourishment? And they talk about tyranny, the founding fathers. The Bible introduces us to destruction through tyranny when man, instead of honoring the sovereignty of God, uses his mortal power to lord over and repress other men or other people, demanding allegiance to him instead of God. This, to him, is a God that he has created in his own image. These dehumanizing, hateful manifestations are revealed here on earth by nations whose constitution honor tyranny as a rule of law to govern their domains. Under their sovereignty, they must deny people their God-given rights so they cannot be challenged and stay in power. You know these nations whose constitution honor tyranny as a rule of law: the socialists, the fascists, the communists, the godless, the fallen ones. That was from the Bible, when the angels, those fallen angels, tested man, and they committed his original sin. Well, you know them. God knows them all too well. The ones that please God through acts of treachery, murder, and oppression, then they call out for justice in his name. You've heard that through Islam. You hear it everywhere. That's them. So the question becomes, We are free because the Constitution is a declaration of war on tyranny. Every article, every amendment, a declaration of war on tyranny keeps us free from those nations inhabited by the fallen. All right? That is our Constitution. This is the basis of our Western Judeo-Christian value system. And by the way, this is just my opinion. This is our core value that keeps the lamp of liberty lit. The United States began with our firm stance against tyranny, and it remains our mission in the world today. It is our rule of law that guides our battles and our policies and reminds us that each time we pledge one nation under God, we answer the call. For only those who stand against tyranny stand with God. And I did that to understand, because people don't understand who they are as Americans, what it means under God in the Pledge of Allegiance. So how do you know, and let's see, is this the last question, right? I think so. Yeah, all right. So the question becomes, with all that, how do you know who is on the side of the rule of law, defending the Constitution, and who is an enemy of it? The answer becomes very clear. Who supports tyranny is the real question. It is obvious the Democrats' mandate to transform America into a socialist state. How can they do oversight to protect our Constitution if they declared war on its rule of law? We got to get Trump in here. Otherwise, we'll lose everything. And my feeling is, if your congregants or any of my congregants in the Jewish faith do not step up to the plate here, then everything that they're praying for is going to stay in a state of just a neutral state. It's the neutral state. I mean, God created us. He also created Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, to make this battle here on earth as in heaven. And that's all we can do, I think, before, the second coming, to empty the world of tyranny. We're making a final exodus right now, but we got to move this thing along. We can't wait here. And the rule of law is very simple, and we're not understanding it. I don't think people understand the biblical understanding of our Constitution's rule of law and its stance against tyranny is what drives us forward to creating a greater union. And until that's understood by everyone, we will not be able to find our identity, who we are, and get the power, this spark of liberty in motion now. I'm glad I met your pastors and I listened to them. I'm an honorary guy like them. And they said, give me a liberty or give me that time. So I don't think we got much choice in this matter. So thank you very much, Pastor, for letting me speak on your show.
Thank you, Stanley. It's been a pleasure hearing your passionate, God-filled views on this issue. And it's true, we have to be mobilized at a local level, taking control of the Republican parties and the committees, etc., and talking about these things openly. The left is a dangerous, communist, treasonous organization that is in America, insidious. And of course, as you say, an insurgency in America. Please, folks, go check out Stanley's website.